Hi, I'm Caitlin, and this is Book Chats, and today I'm going to do my third TBR unwrapping, and that is unwrapping my books for September, and I'm also going to show you guys the progress I've made so far. So if you remember, 2 months ago I started unwrapping 4 books a month, and I'm supposed to read them before I unwrap more, but I'm also unwrapping them each month to make sure that I force myself to keep going. And so the first month I didn't read or complete any of them. I did start a couple, but I didn't finish them. So the second month I unwrapped 4 of my skinniest books on my shelf, and I did much better. I'm gonna take you guys through all 8 that I've unwrapped so far and let you know what I've decided, the progress I've made. I'm gonna start with one book that I've just decided I'm getting rid of. And that is Warp by Lev Grossman. It's kind of vaguely like a prequel-y kind of book to The Magicians. And I just was like, you know what, I haven't even read The Magicians yet. And so if I'm going to start anywhere, that's where I should start. And so this one is an ARC, so I'm actually going to put it in the little free library across the street from where I live. Next, I'm going to show you guys the 2 books I actually finished. Sorry, I'm very excited. First I read Can You Sue Your Parents for Malpractice by Paula Danziger. This is an old book. It's from like the 70s. And it's from 1979, and in some ways it definitely felt like that. It's very short and it feels very underdeveloped, but I was also really surprised by how deep it got. It has a plot line about kind of one character's parents being divorced and one character's parents maybe fighting over gender roles within their household, and there's also a sister who moves in with her boyfriend and some tension around that with parents. So a lot actually happens in like 150 pages. And then the other book that I read and completed, and this one I read as part of the reading quest, and this was one of them. It was my retelling, and it is Six Gun Snow White by Catherine M. Valente. I think that's how you say her name. This was pretty interesting. I definitely thought it was a very unique retelling of Snow White. It went in a direction I did not expect it to go. Then 3 books that I have... Then a book that I made progress on but have not finished yet is The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis. I'm not too worried about this one. I've basically been picking it up all day and reading a chapter when I have time because the chapters are quite short, and I am like a quarter of the way through already. So that one I should be finishing without a problem in September. And then the other 2 that I have made some progress on are, To Like the Lightning by Ada Palmer. I read a teeny tiny bit of it. I don't know if you can tell. This is my bookmark. Here. This is my bookmark. Before the reading quest started, and so I can't read it for the reading quest because books that you've already started don't count. And so I've just put it on hold till the reading quest is over. And then the other book that is on hold until the reading quest is over is John Irving's A Prayer for Owen Meany. I was going to DNF this one, but then some of my friends have read and really loved it, and so now I might give it a little more of a shot. I might just DNF it. The other 2 books that I have unwrapped and I have not started at all yet are Varieties of Scientific Experience by Carl Sagan, is In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken, and it's also apparently sequel September, so I really should get a go on with this one. I just haven't started yet because it just is so many pages. But you guys are not here for that part of this video. You guys are here for this part of this video, which is where I unwrap books. So I'm only going to unwrap 4 this month because I have not finished the ones I have already, but I do unwrap 4 every month. 3 of the books that I am going to unwrap, this one is either sci-fi or fantasy, this one is nonfiction, and this one is either historical or a retelling, and then I'm supposed to choose a 4th. So technically I'm not supposed to unwrap these papers until I've read 4 books, like completed 4 books, but I want to round up this 4. These are the other skinny books. I mean, I have other skinny contemporaries, but these are like the skinniest in each of their categories. And I have read 2. I'm definitely going to finish a 3rd in September, and I'm getting rid of a 4th. So I feel like I'm justifying it for myself. I am going to unwrap the skinnier of the 2 books because that's how I'm rolling right now. And that is in this most anticipated paper. I'm very excited about. So, but I'll unwrap that last. So let's see. I'm going to start with this retelling paper. Do you think it's historical or retelling? I think it's retelling because it's kind of a weird shape. And I think I remember something being kind of this shape that was retelling, but I don't totally Oh, okay, here we go. This is The Great Good Thing by Roderick Townley. I think I bought this at a library. I definitely bought this at a library sale. Okay, so I don't know if this really qualifies as a retelling, but I understand why I wrapped it with the retelling paper. This is a book about a book, sort of. The main character is a character in a book, and her story is always the same, and she ends up accidentally getting to know one of her readers and entering her dreams, and so that is what this book is about, I guess. This one is nonfiction, so I'm kind of excited to see what my nonfiction is. It will be the second nonfiction I've unwrapped because the Carl Sagan book is also nonfiction. Oh, this is also an ex-library book. Oh, it is. I don't think this is nonfiction, guys. I think I wrapped these wrong. I feel betrayed. It's a collection of David Sedaris essays, so I think that I was thinking essays are nonfiction, but I think these are actually stories, which are not the same as essays, and therefore are not the same as nonfiction. So I betrayed myself. But it's 6 stories about holidays. So I'm not actually sure. I bought this a couple years ago when I was doing the Pop Sugar Challenge, and I needed a book about Christmas, and I thought this would be a fun one to do, but I have like really mixed feelings towards David Sedaris' work. I know that a lot of my friends really love his work, but every time he's on This American Life, and I don't know if it's just his voice, or if it's the stories themselves, or if it's just that I feel betrayed because they're stories and not nonfiction reporting, which again, I betrayed myself. Yeah, so we'll see if I read this one or if I just get rid of it. All right, and now my sci-fi fantasy. I really do like this paper, guys. It's got my little unicorns. They're so pretty. I'm doing that thing again where I like unwrap it very carefully because I'm like somehow gonna reuse this paper. Old habits die hard, guys. Oh, it's another arc. So this is, I think, a collection of short stories. It's called Children of the New World, and then it says stories, which is why I think it's a collection of short stories. It looks like speculative fiction, and it actually sounds pretty interesting. So I am kind of excited to read this, and I'm especially excited for something that might be short stories, because short stories are a little easier to get through for me right now because I don't have to be invested for a long period of time, and I, for various reasons, have just been really distracted lately. So hopefully this will not be too hard to get through. And now, I get to unwrap my most anticipated book because I'm cheating. I'm also really excited, kind of excited but not excited about these ones that I just unwrapped because I don't think it'll be hard to get rid of at least one of them. I think I'm just going to get rid of the David Sedaris book, guys. I'll give it a shot. I promise I'll give it a shot. All right. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I was hoping I would unwrap this like this year. A couple months ago, many months ago, last time I made a book outlet order, I ordered 2 books about boundaries and boundary setting, and this is one of them, and both of these had been recommended to me outside of Book Outlet. But this is Boundaries Where You End and I Begin by Anne Catherine, who has a master's in something. She's a counselor. I think that I probably need better boundaries, and I would really like to read both of the books that I got about boundaries, but I was worried that they were lost in the nonfiction, and even like being lost in my most anticipated, like, how am I going to find them, right? So I'm very excited that I unwrapped this one, and this one is definitely going on the reading pile, and I'm really psyched for that. Okay, so again, the 4 that I unwrapped this month are The Great Good Thing by Roderick Townley, Holidays on Ice by David Sedaris, which has a very high chance of being DNF'd, Children of the New World, which is a collection of short stories. I'm excited about these kind of short story thing going on. And Boundaries by Anne Catherine. And these are the 4 that are being added to the rest of my still unfinished TBR pile. That is all my unwrapping for this month. Thank you so much for following me on this journey.